I've been hiding the fact that my youngest son is actually my biological child for 19 years. My wife and I got married through an arranged marriage when we were 18 and 20. It's pretty common in our culture, and honestly, we didn't really know each other that well when we got married. We both wanted kids, but my wife has this medical condition that makes it really hard for her to get pregnant. Since our marriage wasn't exactly a love story at first, we weren't super excited about going through years of fertility treatments and trying constantly. So when we got financially stable, we decided to adopt instead. We adopted our first son when he was 3 years old, and he's 26 now. A year later, we adopted our daughter when she was just a newborn, and she's 22. Everything was going great. Our kids were happy, we were happy, and our family seemed okay with the adoption thing, even though they'd make little comments here and there about how different it was from having your own kids. Then 3 years later, something unexpected happened. My wife and I went to this wedding and had way too much to drink. We came home and, well, let's just say we had a really good night. 2 months later, my wife comes to me holding a pregnancy test with tears in her eyes. We were shocked but excited, but then we realized we had a huge problem. Our families had been pressuring us for years to do fertility treatments because they wanted us to have a child that would truly belong to us. They'd made comments about how adopted kids were nice, but it wasn't the same as having your own blood. We knew if they found out our youngest was biological, they'd treat our other 2 kids completely differently. Like suddenly our adopted kids would become the lesser grandchildren or something. So we made this crazy decision. We hid the entire pregnancy from our families. My wife wore loose clothes. We told everyone we were thinking about adopting another baby. And when our son was born, we just said we'd found another adoption opportunity. Only a few close friends knew the truth. And of course, we told all 3 kids when they were old enough to understand. Our youngest knows he's biological, and our older 2 know too. They're all totally fine with it because they understand why we did it. But keeping this secret has been eating at me for almost 20 years now. Last week, my dad was over for dinner talking to me and my cousin about family stuff. He starts going on about how disappointed he's always been that I never gave him a proper grandchild. He looks right at me and goes, "I was holding out hope until last year when your wife turned 45, but I guess it's just not meant to be." Then he sighs and says, "Don't get me wrong, I love the kids, but it's just not the same as having your own flesh and blood carry on the family name." I wanted to scream at him that he did have a biological grandchild sitting right there in our living room. My youngest was literally in the next room playing video games, and my dad has no idea that kid shares his DNA. After my dad left, my cousin pulled me aside. He's one of the few people who knows the truth, and he told me he thinks I'm being an asshole by still hiding it. He said my dad is getting older, and it's not like he can treat the kids differently now that they're all grown adults with their own lives. But I disagree. Even now, I think if my dad found out, he'd start treating my youngest as his favorite. He'd probably want him to carry on family traditions or inherit certain things that he'd never offer to my other kids. My wife agrees with me, but sometimes I wonder if we're doing the right thing by keeping this secret forever.